Just need to say goodbye to viewers watching us on BBC World around the globe. Thank you for your company. Bye-bye.
You're live with Lucy Hockings on BBC World News. Could this be Rishi Sunak's big day? The deadline for nominations to be Britain's next and first Asian Prime Minister looms. The former Chancellor currently has the backing of more than 170 MPs.
I think he's got all the really good ideas on his side, and I think he'd be a terrific Prime Minister if it comes to that.
The US, Britain and France condemn Russia's claim that Ukraine is preparing to use a radioactive dirty bomb on its own territory. Chinese latest economic figures, delayed until after Xi Jinping's third term as leader was confirmed, show lower growth than the official target. And disgraced former Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein faces charges of rape and sexual assault in Los Angeles. In the next half hour, we'll be live at Downing Street and we'll hear from our correspondents in Kyiv, Seoul and Beijing. Britain's former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is now the firm favourite to become Prime Minister as a key deadline approaches in the contest. The ousted former leader Boris Johnson pulled out of the race on Sunday, and the only other contender, Penny Mordaunt, now has just hours left to secure enough backing to be on the ballot paper. If she fails, Mr Sunak will become Britain's third Prime Minister in 7 weeks. The short-lived premiership of Liz Truss saw a plunge in the value of pound and a sharp rise in the cost of government borrowing. Let's take you straight to Downing Street. We can join my colleague there, Joanna Gosling.
Good morning. Welcome to BBC News. Well, we could find out as early as this afternoon who's replacing Liz Truss as the UK's Prime Minister. Tory MPs have until 2 o'clock to make their nominations for party leader, and each candidate needs at least 100 backers. If just one achieves that number, they'll be declared party leader today and will walk through the famous black door behind me as Prime Minister as soon as tomorrow, possibly even today. If more than one candidate hits the 100 mark, there'll be a ballot by MPs later, followed by a vote of party members this week. Andrea Leadsom, well, let's talk to our chief political correspondent, Nick Eardley. We were just talking, Nick, about the numbers. They're slowly but surely ticking up behind Rishi Sunak.
Well, look, Rishi Sunak now has more than half of the Conservative Party in Parliament backing him. That doesn't mean the race is over, because all you need is 100 to get on the ballot for members.
Thank you, Nick. Well, I'm going to talk now to the Conservative MP Mark Harper, who is backing Rishi Sunak. And what's your understanding, Mark Harper, of where the numbers are right now?
Well, look, Joanna, good to talk to you. Well, look, I think based on the, and I had to do the same thing as you, checking my phone. But look, I'm very pleased that Rishi Sunak has now secured.
Mark Harper, thank you very much for joining us.
Joanna Gosling there at Downing Street, following every twist and turn. So is the website, bbc.com/news. We have a live page up and running. So do log on and keep across the political story here in the UK. And of course, if we have any developments, we will take you straight back to Downing Street. But now, the United States, Britain and France have condemned Russia's claim that Ukraine is preparing to use a radioactive dirty bomb on its own territory. They said the allegation was transparently false and the world would see through any attempt to use it as a pretext for escalation. President Zelensky also mentioned it in his nightly video address. You're live with Lucy Hockings. Still to come, we're in LA as disgraced former Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein faces charges of rape and sexual assault. And we'll hear from our Beijing correspondent on China's slowing economic growth figures. live with Lucy Hockings. Official figures from China show the economy grew by 3.9% year on year in the third quarter of this year. That is better than analysts expected, but still well below the government target of 5.5%. The data was released a week later than usual because of the ruling Communist Party Congress that saw President Xi Jinping secure a historic third term as leader. He has taken a firmer grip on power by promoting his allies. Our China correspondent Stephen McDonald has more on those growth figures. Hollywood is preparing for the start of a new trial for the former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, expected to begin today. A much diminished Weinstein with reportedly declining health is back in Los Angeles and incarcerated in a prison cell on trial for rape and sexual assault. The court case follows Weinstein being convicted in New York for other sex crimes, though that case is under appeal. Our West Coast correspondent Sophie Long reports now from Hollywood. We're going to take you straight to Downing Street, not because there's a new Prime Minister yet, but because there is Larry, the cat, the 15-year-old tabby. He serves as Chief Mouser at the residence of the British Prime Minister. Now, he has outlasted David Cameron, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, and today he will potentially be welcoming a new Prime Minister. So lots of attention of the nation on the front door of Downing Street, and there was Larry for you to enter. You're live with Lucy Hockings on BBC World News. Choosing Britain's third Prime Minister in just 7 weeks. Former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is the favourite. He'd be the country's first leader of South Asian descent.
I think he's got all the really good ideas on his side, and I think he'd be a terrific Prime Minister if it comes to that.
But backers of rival Penny Mordaunt say she has almost gained enough support to put up a challenge. This is seen live now outside number 10 Downing Street, where in the next 2 hours we could learn whether the choice will be opened up to the party's membership. Widespread condemnation of Russia's claims that Ukraine is preparing to use a radioactive dirty bomb on its own territory. China's currency and stock markets fall sharply a day after President Xi Jinping tightens his control over the Communist Party. And seeking an end to Ethiopia's civil war as the government prepares for talks with Tigrayan rebels. In the next half hour, we'll be live in Downing Street, Berlin and Johannesburg. Britain's former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is now the firm favourite to become Prime Minister as a key deadline approaches in the contest. The ousted former leader Boris Johnson pulled out of the race on Sunday, and the only other contender, Penny Mordaunt, has just 2 hours left now to secure enough backing to be on the ballot paper. So let's take you straight to Downing Street to bring you right up to date with my colleague Joanna Gosling, who is there for us. Joanna.
Hello, welcome. Well, we could find out as early as this afternoon who's replacing Liz Truss as the UK's Prime Minister. Tory MPs have until 2 o'clock, just 2 hours away, to make their nominations for party leader. And each candidate needs at least 100 backers. If just one achieves that, they will be declared party leader outright today and would walk through the famous black door behind me as Prime Minister as soon as tomorrow, possibly even today. If more than one candidate hits the 100 mark, there'll be a ballot by MPs later today, followed by a vote of party members this week.
I'm not convinced that the British public want 4 general elections in 6 years. Now,
We leave the European Research Group chair. That was Marc Francois just talking in the House of Commons at the moment. They are the Conservative branch of the party, but he has said we are unable to collectively endorse either candidate, but said they will unite behind whoever wins. So we will continue to keep you across events at Downing Street, and we'll return there if there are any developments. You are live with Lucy Hockings. Still to come. Seeking an end to Ethiopia's civil war as the government prepares for talks with Tigrayan rebels in South Africa. We'll be live in Johannesburg. We'll also take you live to Berlin to hear about concerns over the treatment in Qatar of LGBT people in the run-up to the World Cup. You're live with Lucy Hockings. The United States, Britain and France have condemned Russia's claim that Ukraine is preparing to use a radioactive dirty bomb on its own territory. They said the allegation was transparently false and the world would see through any attempt to use it as a pretext for escalation. President Zelensky has also mentioned it in his nightly video address. Peace talks are taking place in South Africa with the aim of ending the 2-year civil war in Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray. The Ethiopian government and its allies, which include Eritrea's military, have been fighting Tigrayan forces in the north of the country on and off since late 2020. This is a conflict that's killed thousands of civilians and displaced millions. So let's take you live to Johannesburg. Our Ethiopia correspondent, Kalkadan Yebatal, is covering the talks there. Good to see you. What are the expectations around these talks? Hope so. Kalkadan, thank you. It's 27 days until the World Cup in Qatar, and a report by Human Rights Watch has accused the Qatari authorities of arresting and beating LGBT people in the run-up. It said the abuses took place as recently as last month in an underground prison in Doha. Qatar, which criminalises male homosexuality, categorically denies the allegations, labelling them as unequivocally false, and says its policies are underpinned by a commitment to human rights. Live to Berlin, Rasha Yunus is an LGBT rights researcher at Human Rights Watch. Thank you for joining us. What did you find in your research? Rasha Yunus from Human Rights Watch, thank you for joining us from Berlin. See you again in a few minutes. Bye-bye. You're live with Lucy Hockings on BBC World News. Choosing Britain's third Prime Minister in just 7 weeks. Former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is the favourite. He'd be the country's first leader of South Asian descent.
I think he's got all the really good ideas on his side, and I think he'd be a terrific Prime Minister if it comes to that.
But backers of rival Penny Mordaunt say she has almost gained enough support to put up a challenge. There's widespread condemnation of the Russian claim that Ukraine is preparing to use a radioactive dirty bomb on its own territory. Back in court, disgraced former Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein faces new charges of rape and sexual assault. And banishing the darkness, we'll be looking at how Diwali is also big business. Britain's former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is now the firm favourite to become Prime Minister as a key deadline approaches in the contest. The ousted former leader Boris Johnson pulled out of the race on Sunday. And the only other contender, Penny Mordaunt, has just 90 minutes left now to secure enough backing to be on the ballot paper. So far, over 210 out of 357 Tory MPs have told the BBC who they'll be supporting. 185, over half of the parliamentary party, are backing Rishi Sunak, with 26 for Penny Mordaunt, which is some way off the 100 threshold, though her team has said that she has now passed 90. Rob, good to see you. Rob will be with us throughout the day as we follow these fast-moving events at Westminster. And just to remind you, Penny Mordaunt now has about 85 minutes left to secure enough backing to be on the ballot paper at the moment. Rishi Sunak is the firm favourite. Now, Hollywood is preparing for the start of a new trial for the former movie mogul Harvey Weinstein, which is expected to begin today. A much diminished Weinstein, with reportedly declining health, is back in LA and incarcerated in a prison cell on trial for rape and sexual assault. The court case follows Weinstein being convicted in New York for other sex crimes, though that case is under appeal. Sophie Long reports from Hollywood. North and South Korea have exchanged warning shots along their western sea border. South Korea's military says its navy fired those shots to repel a North Korean ship that had crossed into the sea boundary between the north and south. Pyongyang's military says it responded by firing 10 artillery shots as a warning to the south. Our correspondent in Seoul, Jean McKenzie, says military tensions on the peninsula have risen in the past few weeks. Syria is dealing with its first outbreak of cholera in more than a decade. The country has been scrambling to contain it since first cases were reported in provinces several weeks ago. But despite efforts, the infectious illness for which there is a vaccine has been spreading rapidly, believed to be linked to people drinking contaminated water. Stephanie Prentice reports. Stay with us here on BBC World News. Still to come, banishing the darkness. We'll look at how Diwali is also big business. You're live with Lucy Hockings. It's the main day of Diwali, the Festival of Lights, celebrated by millions of Indians, Sikhs and Jains around the world. It is a bright, colourful festival and is typically celebrated with lanterns, fireworks and glowing lamps. It's also marked with feasts and by exchanging gifts with friends and family, and represents the victory of light over darkness and good over evil. The celebrations are also sparking concerns about air pollution in Delhi as well. And if we can take you to Singapore now, during Diwali, locals head to Little India for new clothes, jewellery and decorations. Our reporter Derek High went to find out why these businesses are important to the community. In the Northern Hemisphere, we're now well into autumn, and for farmers it can be a busy time of the year, making sure livestock are properly housed and fed. In Spain, that process takes an unusual turn, as Tim Ullman explains. Remarkable scenes in Madrid, a remarkable story unfolding at Downing Street. We'll be across who will be Britain's next Prime Minister here on BBC World News throughout the day, so do stay with us.
Hello there. We're seeing some real changes in the weather across North America at the moment. It's been rather warm and dry recently towards the Pacific Northwest, but